What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today, we're going to be doing the match analysis, half match analysis and half talking about Ronald Koeman's future. And of course, the match analysis is going to be very, very quick. I want to fly through it, talk about some of the games, some of the stats, the press conference of Ronald Koeman after the game, and the match reaction of Busquets as well. And then we're going to go into the big conversation of Ronald Koeman's future. So let's start off. Of course, we did draw the game 3-3. Pretty crap. Lineup on the starting lineup on the screen right now. It was Ter Stegen in goal. A back three of Araujo, Pique, and Lenglet. Wingbacks being Dembele and Jordi Alba. That was a big move. Coming up with Dembele in the game at right wing back. The midfield three was, of course, Busquets, De Jong, and Pedri. And the two strikers up front were Messi and Antoine Griezmann. Now, subs in the game, Ronald Koeman did use all 5 substitutions. He brought on Roberto at halftime for Araujo. Then he brought on Mingueza, Dest, Braithwaite, and then he took off Roberto for Ricky Puig at the end of the game, and it was because Roberto was injured. He did limp off from the injury from the pitch, as you can see. He went straight down the tunnel. Didn't even talk with the manager Ronald Koeman, and it was confirmed this morning that Roberto is injured. He has a right. Let me just pull it up real quick. Has a discomfort in his femurs on his right thigh. And there are reports coming out saying that his season is officially over. As you expect, we have 2 games left of the season, so he will be for those 2 games. Javi Miguel came out saying that Roberto's season is officially over. He'll be out for 1 month, and of course, he will miss the last 2 games of the season, which will be in the next 2 weeks, of course. And also, the rare reports coming out from Madrid that Pique and Araujo, well, we all know Araujo came off injured. We haven't heard anything official from the club quite yet, but there are rumors coming out saying that Pique and Araujo are both injured. Wait and see confirmation from the club. We all expect Araujo to be injured because he did come off with an injury. But Pique sounded like he is injured as well, but wait for confirmation from the club to make it official. Now, take a look at some of the stats from this match. Of course, Barcelona dominated the possession of this game, 61% to 39. 17 shots for Barcelona total, 5 of them on target, 8 of them were off target. Big chances, Barcelona had 5 and missed 3, which is pretty bad, honestly pretty bad. Out of the 17 shots we had, 12 of them came inside the box, 5 of them came outside the box. Passing, of course, in the game, Barcelona dominated, same with the dribbling, and possession loss as well. Barcelona did not lose the ball that much. They only lose the ball 105 times compared to Levante's 100 and Barcelona lost the ball 102 times compared to Levante's 105 times. It's not too bad. Of course, when you lose the ball less than your opponent, it's always better. SofaScore play ratings at full time weren't that great as well. Ter Stegen getting at 6.2, Araujo getting at 6.8, Pique 6.9, Lenglet 6.9, Busquets getting at 6.4. I completely disagree. According to SofaScore, he was the lowest, worst outfield player on the pitch. I completely disagree with that. Dembele getting the best player rating with an 8.4, De Jong 6.9, Pedri getting at 7.6. I think that's a little bit generous. Jordi Alba 6.8, Griezmann getting a 6.6, and Leo Messi getting an 8.2. Now, quickly, I want to talk about Messi and Dembele's performances. I don't want to really, go into in-depth about them, but just to highlight them, of course, Messi 8.2 did very well. 1 goal, which was an absolute golazo. 77% pass accuracy, 67 touches. It the 5 dribbles completed 3, to the 3 crosses completed 2, 4 long balls completed 2. Created 2 big chances, of course, that we couldn't, end up scoring them. And of course, had 1 shot on target, 2 shots off target, and 3 of them were blocked. But the main man of the night was, of course, Ousmane Dembele, getting an 8.4 in total. As you can tell from his heat map, of course, playing that right wing back role in the pitch. 1 goal, 1 assist, 66 touches, 93% pass accuracy. Very, very strong performance from him. He was fouled 4 times as well, didn't commit 1 foul. And since he was playing that right wing back role, he did complete 3 tackles in total. Now, a funny stat about Dembele is that so far in his Barcelona career, he has scored 30 goals, 15 of them being with his right foot, 15 of them being with his left foot. So, if you ever heard of Dembele, is probably the most 2-footed player I've ever seen in my life, and it just shows. Hopefully, he can keep that record till the end, because I think that's a pretty cool record. So other stats from the match, of course, some of them are not that good. Of course, Barcelona had the opportunity to take the lead in the league 4 times against Real Madrid, Atletico, Granada, and Levante. And out of those 4 games, out of a possible, 3, 6, 9, 12 points, we lost 2 and we drew 2. So we only got 2 points out of a possible 12 from those games that would take us top of the league, which is, of course, completely unacceptable. And in the season as well, of course, Barcelona we had this, we started off the season pretty low. Came up on January, February, March time. Then April maybe had a little stability, and now this end of the season has been a big plummet. In our last 4 games, we only collected 5 points from 12 and conceding 12 goals as well in our last 7 games. Very, very, very poor. Yes, I did talk about Roberto. Some people are asking about Roberto's injury. He is going to be out for 1 month, and he will be out for the rest of the season. Another stat from this match, another poor one as well. Of course, Barcelona have lost more points from winning positions than any other team in La Liga since match day 32. Of course, we lost 3 points against Granada and 2 points against Levante. Very, very, very poor from Barcelona, I have to say. It's not looking too good. Someone's asking for Roberto's SofaScore rating. I'll pull that up for you in a second. Let's just see. So let's now get into the press conference reaction of Ronald Koeman, and of course Busquets did his match reaction as well. I want to give Busquets some credit. It's not easy to come out of a game. A very, very poor performance from the team, and of course as a captain as well to talk after the game. So I want to give Busquets some credit. Just trying to pull out the SofaScore rating for what's his name? Roberto. So Roberto got a 6.1. So that's actually the worst of all the Barcelona players. But then again, he only played half an hour. So, oops. So yeah, let's get into the press conference reaction. We're gonna start with, of course, with Busquets, second captain of the team. Gotta give him credit for coming out and talking about the game afterwards. It's very, very difficult for a player after when his team doesn't perform that well, he has to come out and talk about it. We've seen Pique after Bayern Munich, seen Messi after the Champions League final back in 2019. Let's go and see what Busquets had to say. Starts by saying that we started the game off well. In the end of the day, this is what you get when you don't wish for it. Similar to the earlier games, our opponents scored easy goals against us. I completely agree with that. Busquets in the midfield is saying, look, we concede very, very easy goals, and it's completely evident of that. We leave with bad feelings. We could have scored a lot more goals, but the usual thing has happened. We have scored very easy goals. We paid for our mistakes. The league is practically over for us. So Busquets has come out saying that, look, the league is done for us. For me personally, we'll talk about the league at the end. For me, unless Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid lose, we're done. If they both lose, of course we're still in it. But when you're second, one of the biggest players in the team, and the second captain comes out saying the league is over, the league is pretty much over. And of course, there's some news about a Busquets replacement coming in. Of course, Nico Gonzalez, the Barcelona B player, has officially renewed his contract this morning until 2024. I believe he has a 500 million release clause as well, and he will be doing preseason with the first team as well. Of course, Laporta has seen the deal this morning, so we could see Nico Gonzalez getting some game time for Busquets. Of course, Busquets has been playing every single game this season, especially with a mask on as well. So a nice replacement for him coming in as well. Nico Gonzalez has officially renewed his contract, so that's some good news coming out this morning. And now let's get into Ronald Koeman's press conference reaction. Of course, Ronald Koeman came after the game. It's just he comes out, he says what he has to say, and he just wants to leave at the end of the day. So take that with a pinch of salt. Everything what he says after the game. Let's get and see what he had to say. So. Started by saying that in the first half we were fine. In the second half we lost the possession a lot, and we let Levante grow into the game. La Liga is very complicated now. It depends on the other results, of course, but it's very complicated. So he's basically saying it's done as well. As a coach, I assume most of the responsibility. I also wonder what happened, because at halftime we talked about the intensity. In the second half, I saw lower than the intensity. So in the halftime, he told them to bump up the intensity, be more intense. In the second half, they were actually worse. I'm sad. We were leading by 2 goals at the end of the day. That's about my continuation. Coaches are always questioned, but I understand that it's perfectly fine. So he's just shrugging it off. Tomorrow we have to move on. Again, he's just trying to say, oh, let's just move on again. Prepare for the next 2 games of the season. But first, we must reflect on tonight's result. Sometimes there are things that can't be explained. I think in the second half we played with less intensity, and when you're playing less aggressively, you react less. We have slowed it down, and this is our big problem. There's no one to blame individually. The whole team defensively hasn't been at the greatest level. Conceding 3 goals in 45 minutes is too much for this team, and I completely agree with that. I think the fact that we conceded 3 goals in the space of 2 goals in the space of 1 minute, I think it's absolutely crap, honestly. Now that brings us to the big question. Koeman, what's going to be his future now? What Koeman has done, you have to remember, by the way, what Koeman has done when he came in, Koeman's going to be a legend of this club no matter what. As a player, maybe not, of course not as a manager, but as a player, he's absolutely goated. It's just, he paid out his own release clause from the Dutch team to come to Barcelona. He left the Dutch team 1 year away from a big European competition, and of course the Euros, to come to Barcelona. You cannot deny his commitment to the team, but it's just these stupid decisions in game that cost us every single time. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the chat, by the way. I'm going to get to some of your questions. It's just the Ricky Puig situation, the in-game management, the big game record, the capitulation at the beginning of the season and at the end. He did well in the middle. You got to give him credit, and of course he did win the Copa del Rey. But you're hearing reports coming out this morning from the sport saying that the atmosphere during the team's return from Valencia after the match against Levante was like a funeral. The players were very serious. The gestures were crowded. The gestures were crooked, and there was no meeting or chats between the players after the game. And also Juan Martí, as you all know, very, very reliable. He came out saying that after the defeat against Granada, Koeman and the heavyweights of the dressing room had a hot chat, the results of which were far from positive. That loss had the irreplaceable morale impact on the players, which is accepted by negative amongst the team. So basically, Juan Martí is saying, look, after the Granada game, it was basically done. The loss was just way, way too big. The team was, getting into arguments with Ronald Koeman, and that was, the start of the downfall. Of course, after that Granada game, we played Atletico Madrid and Levante, and we drew both games. So you can't deny the fact that the Granada game had, a big, big impact on the future, and now it's going to be a big, big move for Laporta. Laporta's going to have to make a huge decision on Ronald Koeman. It's just, if we sack Ronald Koeman, who will replace, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, but again, that brings up a good point as well. There's not that many replacements out there. You had the longest that was available. The top available coaches at the moment, you would say, is probably Allegri and Mauricio Sarri, but none of them really fit the Barcelona philosophy. They're more of a defensive Italian style, three at the back, defend for your lives, hit them on the counterattacks. That's basically what we're doing now. But it's just Laporta has to make a huge decision. Probably one of his biggest decisions as the president so far is whether or not he continues with Ronald Koeman next season. And there's just big rumors about, because there were already doubts about Ronald Koeman when Joan Laporta got elected. He got elected. There were rumors coming out saying, look, he appreciates Ronald Koeman. He wouldn't have appointed him if he was the president. He respects him. He will give him a chance, of course. And then you had, reports coming out before the Granada game saying, oh, look, Koeman doesn't really fancy him. And the whole entire Barcelona board are in Laporta's ear saying, sack him, he's not good enough, blah, 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 blah. We have to find someone that's, better, all that sort of stuff. It's just, it's a big move for Juan Laporta, what he's going to do with Ronald Koeman. I mean, Koeman does have a 2-year contract. Well, it's coming up to 1 year. But I believe when he signed under Bartomeu, there was a release clause in his contract where the new president can decide whether or not he wants to continue with him or not, similar to what Setien had. It's just, Barca boy, Koeman should go, no explanation. It's just, I think, I don't want to say Koeman out, but I'll say this right now. I don't think Ronald Koeman is the coach going forward. I don't think he'll guide us to, glory in the Champions League and league dominance. I'll say that right now. But it's just, who do you get? So let's talk about some of the replacements quickly. Firstly, there is, of course, Garcia, Pimienta, the Barcelona B coach, who I would pick if I was Laporta. I would say, Pimienta, it's your time to shine. I'm making you the Barcelona coach. Someone's saying Ernesto Valverde is the best coach. I'm seeing so many videos of Valverde this morning. Oh, we didn't treat him properly, blah, 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 blah. Valverde should have been sacked after Liverpool, and he continued on for another 6 months. That's another great point, by the way. If Koeman does continue, I believe the same thing that happened to Valverde will happen to Koeman. You already have a lot of people who are Koeman out right now. I'd say probably 45 to 50% of the fan base of all the culés are like Koeman out, and a lot of them are like me, say 30% saying, oh, undecided. I think the same thing will happen to Koeman. I think if he stays, he'll be sacked by December, January, February time, honestly, because you'll give him the chance, you'll give him the signs that he wants, and then after that, you'll criticize him even more because now he had a summer, he has Laporta, he has, the team is stable now, but you have to give him credit for what he's done for the team. But back on the replacement, I would go, personally for me, I'd go Garcia Pimienta, the Barcelona B coach. But of course, the big question out there is, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I think for me personally, it's a little bit too early for Xavi. I would like to see him go to somewhere else and get some experience. I would love for, my dream for me, Hansi Flick is going to Germany, so he won't be an option for those asking. The dream for me would be Pimienta coming to the Barcelona B, first team coach, and then Xavi taking over Barcelona B. I think that would be absolutely perfect, in my opinion. I think Xavi needs to leave Qatar to get more experience elsewhere, because you all know Qatar is, not really the league where you get challenged. So that's the dream for me. But of course, there are big possibilities. There are big rumors that Xavi could come straight in to the Barcelona first team coach. Not confirmed yet. No, it is confirmed. Hansi Flick will be signing with the German national team. 3-year contract. It's done. He won't be available for those people asking. So yeah, Xavi is of course the big option. For me, I'd go for Pimienta. But again, now the big question is Messi's future. Rumors coming out saying that Messi still wants to stay. So rumors are saying currently that nothing has changed. But I think Messi's going to take a big... I'm saying this. If I was Messi, Unless Laporta tells me, look, we're going to sack Koeman, bring in a top manager, top players, rebuild, trust the youth players, I'm out. Honestly, Messi could have won the Premier League and been in the Champions League final if he went to City in the summer. If Bartomeu let him leave, like what the contract said on paper, he would have won the Premier League and he would be in the Manchester City Champions League final. I think Messi, he's sacrificed so much for this team. I think he's so much of a legend, man. Honestly, when he leaves, I'm probably going to do a live stream where I cry because this man has given so much to this badge right here. And it's going to be a big, big summer. Right now, again, rumors are saying that he's going to stay. But something that Messi said, I want to show you guys a video quickly of something that Messi said back in the beginning of the 2019 season after we just choked Anfield in the Copa del Rey final from the treble. I'm going to play the video. It's going to have subtitles because, of course, there's no sound, so I'll read it out to you while it goes. But I think we have to give more credit for the league title that we have won. 8 La Ligas in 11 years. This, for any club, would have been an amazing thing. And I completely agree with that. For this one, too, it's very important what we did. But in a few years, we will realize how difficult it was to do it. Perhaps we don't give it the respect it deserves. So, big words coming in there from Leo. And he's absolutely correct. We had a huge dominance in the league, winning 8 out of 11. Of course, we won back-to-back a few times, won 3 in a row under Pep Guardiola. And now we were all crying for the league. We didn't win it. And Messi said this back in 2019, by the way, 2 years ago, saying that people do not appreciate us winning the league, and they will in the future. And now we're sitting here wishing that we had the league. So it's going to be a big summer for Barcelona and Joan Laporta and Ronald Koeman, of course. Again, for me, I'd go with Pimienta. We all know that it's going to be a huge summer between Laporta and Koeman. Again, I'm seeing a lot. Since this game, it's like after Anfield, pretty much everyone was already out. And now I've seen a huge jump in the Koeman outs. I've seen a lot of people be Koeman out, saying he's not the right man. I think all the Barcelona fans in the world can agree that Koeman will not be the coach taking us forward. Like, not have, a strong few years like, Luis Enrique or Pep Guardiola. He's not going to be that coach. But saying Koeman out and, discrediting him, you have to remember what he's sacrificed to come to this team. You have to give him credit for that. We all know that Koeman is not the man going forward, and definitely Laporta is going to have to look for a new coach, whether it's going to be this summer, next summer, or in December. We're going to have to look for a new coach. So Xavi won't change Barca. I think he would, but I think he would need time. I don't know if this fan base is patient. I think you have to give Xavi at least 2 years to bring in the system that he wants, the players that he wants, give him time. We have to remember that we had a miracle with Pep Guardiola. He came in straight away. Of course, he started off very, very poorly. Of course, he lost his first league game, wasn't doing too well, and then everything just clicked together. So I think that's the problem with Xavi. That's why I don't want to bring him in straight away. A lot of people compare him to Pep Guardiola. They're going to expect the same thing that Pep Guardiola did. He won't, he'll go trophyless first season. Everyone was like, Xavi out, Xavi out. That's my personal problem, bringing in Xavi straight away. For me, the best available manager on the market for me right now is Garcia Pimienta. Of course, he is, the Barcelona B coach. You just bring him up, promote him up, bada bing, bada boom. So that's who I would go with. But again, this summer is going to be the biggest summer for Barcelona since 2014 was a big summer because we had a transfer ban, so we had to spend a lot. But in terms of, buying players, this is probably going to be our biggest summer since 2009. I tell you what, there's going to be so many changes at the club. Laporta is going to be the spearhead of those changes as well. And we'll have to see what decisions he makes. I think if you were to ask me right now your prediction, I do think Koeman will get sacked. If he stays, I wouldn't be surprised. But if he does stay, the fan base have to give him a chance. I don't want to see preseason people saying Koeman out, all that sort of stuff. Someone saying in the chat, Jordi Cruyff. I don't think Jordi Cruyff will come as a Barcelona manager. I think his last name is just too much for this fan base. They will expect him to be freaking Johan Cruyff for crying out loud. I think his best role would be inside the club. We'll talk about Jordi Cruyff in tomorrow's transfer video that will be uploaded. But Jordi Cruyff as a Barcelona manager, for me, would be a no. I think his last name would be too much of a burden on this club, and they'll expect him too much. Laporta should give Koeman some kind of a job on the board or something. I think he will, for everything he's done. I wouldn't mind that, but I think Koeman wants to be a manager. He's been a manager now for 20 years. He's coached a lot of teams, Ajax, PSV, Everton, Southampton, Dutch team. I'd love for him. You know what I'd love for him? I love for Barcelona to sack him, and then the Netherlands take him back straight away. I think that'd be great because, of course, we all know Frank de Boer Netherlands right now is doing absolutely crap. So bring back Ronald Koeman. I think that'd be fantastic. Ralph Renick, that's also a good option coming in the chat as well. I think he's probably the best outsider available on the market. Ralph, I think probably between right now, if you were to ask me, it'd probably be Ralph, Xavi, Pimienta, and those are probably the top three, I'd say, because there's really no one else. Again, big summer coming in for Barcelona this summer, and Joan Laporta is going to have a big decision. Again, finally, just to end off this live stream, take a look at this league table. Again, if Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid lose today and tomorrow, we're in the league title race for sure. But they're both probably going to win their games. If they do both win their games, league is done for us. Right now, it's already. I say it's league is done. It's Real Madrid could lose against Granada. Honestly, they could. Real Sociedad could be Atletico Madrid. If they both lose their games, we're back in the league title race for sure. 2 games left, 1 point off the top. You can't say that we're not back in the league title race. Atletico Madrid win. I think they're going to win the league for sure. Real Madrid win. Barcelona will be secure. Barcelona will be 100% finishing 3rd place. So we'll see what happens in the next 2 games. I think Atletico Madrid play tonight and Real Madrid play tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with that. If Juventus miss out on UCL, can we send Delit? I think Delit will be too expensive. You're looking at 100 million, 120 million plus. So I don't think so. Give Koeman the credit. I'll give Koeman credit. Like I said, he came at the club. He was the first person to take a wage cut. He was the first player to. He paid his own release clause for crying out loud. You know, like that's just commitment in itself. Of course, he's changed the team. You can't deny the fact that he changed the mentality of the team. He picked up a team with Messi. I told you this in the last live stream. He dealt with 2 Messi interviews. Messi doesn't even talk to the media or talk to anyone, period. Messi talks maybe once in 5 years. He dealt with 2 Messi interviews in the space of 6 months. Pandemic, no president as well. And he won the Copa del Rey, and we were in the league title race. And of course, Champions League humiliation is another thing. But looking at the domestically wise, Spanish Super Cup final, Copa del Rey champions, league. We were in the title race for the La Liga. You have to admit that. So I admit he loves the club. He does love the club. There's no denying the fact that he loves the club. But so do I. So do all you guys. So I think what Koeman's done, he had big balls to take the job. I'll give him credit for that. But he's not the manager that's going to take us forward to that next level. If we saw signs of it, maybe we give him the chance. We haven't seen signs of it. Look at the big games this season. He's lost every single big game this season except for the Copa del Rey final and the Copa del Rey semifinal against Sevilla at the Camp Nou. Every other big game where something was on the line, we draw it or lost. And it's that simple. And again, his in-game management of the team is so poor. It's probably the worst of a Barcelona manager I've seen. I think Setien made better changes in-game as well. Like how you're bringing on Roberto and Mingueza and Dest, 3 defensive substitutions when you're 2-0 up. Not playing Pjanic, not playing Ricky Puig. It's just we'll see what he does this weekend. Of course, Celta Vigo Saturday. It's going to be a difficult game. I think it's going to be more difficult than this Levante game, to be honest. And we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, we'll see he'll give other players some chance because basically, the league is done. There's nothing to play for. 2 games of the season. Let's just see some of the young players and see some entertaining football, see some goals. That's all we want for it at this point. But again, the only way Barcelona is going to be in the league title race is if Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid both lose their next game against Real Sociedad and Granada, respectively. Until then, Barcelona are officially out of the title race, and the season for us is done. And this live stream is now done as well. So thank you guys all for joining me. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I will be reading and replying to every single comment on this live stream. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow there will be a transfer news video, roundup, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk about Jordi Cruyff, the Champions League ban, some players coming in. Eric Garcia deal is now officially done, finally. And of course, we'll talk about Koeman and Messi's future as well. Again, thank you guys all for joining me. And it's going to be a huge, huge... What if they both draw? Let's see real quick. If they both draw, then we're all back to square one again. So I'd say we're still in it, yeah. I would say we're still in it because we're all back to the same point that we were at from before. So I'd say we're still in it, but I doubt they'll both draw. If one of them wins it and the other one, draws point, I think that other team will win it for sure. So if Atletico Madrid win their game and Real Madrid draw or whatever, lose, Atletico Madrid will win the league. If Atletico Madrid draw points and Real Madrid win, I think Real Madrid will go on to win the league. So we just signed Aguero. We will talk about Aguero in tomorrow's transfer video. Aguero, Depay, talk about some midfield replacements for Busquets as well. So with that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow for that news video. Huge summer coming ahead for Ronald Koeman. Laporta, and Football Club Barcelona in itself. Do you want Koeman to continue? I'll end it off on this question. Like I said, I don't want to say Koeman out because I think that's disrespecting him for what he's done for this club as, you know, a coach and a player. I don't think Ronald Koeman is a coach. Is going to be the coach taking us forward. So I would sack him. I would sack him at the end of the season. Say to him, you know, you want a job with the board. You want to, you know, be still involved in the club. But as the manager, I don't think he's the one. He's going to be the manager going forward to take us to that next level. Not really take us to the next level, but just make us compete. Look at the big game record again. It's just too poor. In-game management as well is absolutely dire as well. But so yeah, for me, I do think I would sack Ronald Koeman if I was Laporta. So and I would give the job to Garcia, Pimienta, and Barcelona B. So I end it off here, guys. Thank you guys for joining me again. Subscribe, like, leave your comments down below as well. I'll see you guys some more for the transfer news video. Take care, and Forza Barca.